What's up, everybody? So I am in Imperial City, and that's what we're here to talk about. Imperial City is a PvP portion of the game that is technically in the middle of Cyrodiil. If you know the map of Elder Scrolls, you already knew that. And in this area, it's more PvP slash PvE, and there's a unique currency in here that can be used to buy unique items. So here's the map of the sewers. Each alliance has their own area, and this is where you spawn in at. And I'll show you guys. Down here, you have a bank, so you can put your Telvar in there.
So, you're the one. Consider well.
Walk up, deposit, currency, Telvar stones. Throw them in there. And as you run down the road here, you have the ladders, and the ladders will take you to the districts. So each district, if you put your cursor over it, has a name, Arboretum, Temple District, Nobles, and so on. And each place also aligns with something in the sewers, like another ladder that enters into the sewer from the district. So once you come up and enter in through one of these ladders, you cannot use that ladder to get back in unless you die. And dying is what you don't want to do because you lose half of your Telvar stones, so half of your farming has been for naught. As you can see, when you jump off, it is just a cliff. Now, that isn't the end of the world, because, as you can see, there's a sewer entrance here. So, I'll show you guys right now. Hop down. Come over. Hit the sewers. Now also, you'll see when we come back that you walk back in through your sewer entrance into your base. But now we are down here. And we have to make our way back to our base, or we can use an Imperial Retreat sigil, or you can actually just queue in to Cyrodiil or a Battlegrounds, and it will take you out of the sewers without losing Telvar. No problem. So, one of the big things about being down here is, as you can see, when you kill things, you get Telvar stones. And if you look at that bottom corner, we have 60. Well, the more we have, the higher that multiplier gets. And the higher that multiplier gets, the easier it is to get Telvar stones. Because we just got 8, so we got 4 for killing each of those. But once we hit 100, we'll get 8 for killing each of those. And so on. So, having more Telvar stones is a good idea. But, if you die, and it's not just other players, it's to anything, you lose half your Telvar. And other players want to kill you because they get the half that they make you drop. So whether you want to farm NPCs or you want to farm other players, they're both a viable source of Telvar stones. So, when you're in here, you want to watch your own back against both other players and the NPCs. So that makes it a bit riskier. Especially since you can't lose like alliance points in Cyrodiil for dying, but you'll lose your Telvar in here. So, I'll head this way so I can show you guys what the dungeon bosses look like. So there's different series of bosses in here. There's district bosses, there are banner carriers, and then here's a banner carrier right here. As you can see, when you get close, they reveal you. Now that guy is one tough cookie. That's the Enkindler? Yeah, I'm not going to fight him because he will beat me up here in no CP. These guys have a route that they walk. You can hear them. I don't know if you're able to hear it in the video, but they have like a heartbeat sound. Now, we don't have a character to do it with because I'm not ranged, but there is a cheese where you can camp out on some of these things right here as a sorcerer or a bow user, anything ranged, and you can actually safe spot him while he's on that ramp. But since I don't have one of those characters, that'll be for another video. But as you can see, he's going to walk by, and then you can safely just navigate around him. But those guys are tough customers, and those are the banner carriers. I'm glad we got to find one. In CP, they're much easier to deal with. In no CP, they are much harder to deal with, because we are not working with proc sets, so our damage is much lower. And yeah, that's why I avoid them in here unless I'm with a group, or if I'm on a tank or character. So, as you can see at our bottom right corner now, we're at 196 Delvar stones, so we're at the double multiplier. So now everything we kill, aside from other people, will drop double the Delvar. Now that is an area boss. As you can see, he's got much less than half of the banner carrier health, because banner carriers are more like district bosses. But that is what they look like. They are crossed swords on the map. He's worth maybe 100 or 200 Telvar at the double amount. And they're worth fighting. They're not very hard, but for the sake of time, we're not going to fight him at the moment. We're just going to keep making our way back to base. And this is how you can get Telvar stones. As you can see, NPCs are not afraid of you down here. So you want to watch that. And some are a little bit beefier than others. And here comes another thing that we want to talk about, and it is the chests. So these chests are typically anywhere between simple to master, but most often simple or advanced. And you just run through, unlock it. It usually drops key fragments. Okay, this one gave us Telvar, a treasure map, and a standard bow. That is not bad for a simple chest. There's another one, but we're not going to bother with it because I have everything that these things can drop already. Because, as my other videos have insinuated, I am a big Imperial City fan. Alright, now, as you can see, we are very close to base. During events, people will hide here and gank here. It's not as common on a random Tuesday morning like it is for me, but it is still a pretty common place and a common trope to do in the bigger, especially CP areas. No CP, I'd be surprised if there's someone here. And then you just walk back into your base. Now you cannot, of course, enter the other bases, but if you look up at the pipes, they glow with the colors. So this one, whenever it's soloed out, these are your section. So we went up in the Arboretum, we came down in the Arboretum, and we followed that around. Arboretum. The other one is Temple District. Temple District. That one's glowing red. Nobles, Elven Gardens. Memorial Arena. Nobles, Elven Gardens. That would make this Ebonheart. Blue, Memorial Arena. Memorial Arena, Daggerfall. This is the Molag Bal Center Dungeon boss. It is worth doing. You get about 1,000 Telvar all in all for doing it. You fight several of those kind of weaker banner carriers, and then you fight projection of Molag Bal himself. It's not a hard fight. He does blow up at the end, so don't stand on top of it. And he gives pretty unique drops from it, like there's a chance to get the Soul Shriven skin and the Stonefire Scamp. Those both, Stonefire doesn't sell for great. It does kind of an off-season right now, but when there's the Imperial City events, it drops to nothing. And it's a fun fight, but it is also prone to ganking because it is in the dead center. So all the alliances have equal share to it. There is a lot of reasons to do Imperial City. Over here, this is where you can buy Hakajos for 5,000 Telvar, and that will, they sell for about 100 grand in the market right now, so they are great ways to do it. yeah, that's Imperial City. That is a very basic look at Imperial City. You just go in, you kill NPCs, or you hunt other players. I prefer to do a little bit of both, but I mostly prefer to kill NPCs if I'm solo. And I use something like this build that is in another video to run away. No CP is much less populated than CP, of course, because people like proc sets, and it's harder to do something like banner carriers here. There are up top, each of these districts has a district boss, and each boss has a unique mask that goes along with it. They are similar to a dungeon boss, less health than a trial boss, but they are not advisably to solo here in no CP. I wouldn't solo them in CP either, just because you don't want to get, like, even if you can take it on yourself, it is a tall order to solo it and fight off other players. But if you can, more power to you. They're worth a lot of Telvar stones. They drop leads. They drop all sorts of stuff. They're fun to farm. It's a good time. And yeah, this is just a quick guide in understanding that. The only other thing we can touch on is key fragments. Key fragments drop from enemies across Imperial City. They drop from NPCs. They drop more for tougher opponents. As you can see from TTC, they sell for around 400 a piece. You use them to get into treasure vaults. Treasure vaults are stuff like, it's not going to show. White Gold Tower has one. Up top, you can see there's a treasure vault in every district. The costs varying to get in, and you go in and it will give you items. Like if you want the Essence Thief, you can go and farm key shards or buy them, and then you can use them to, instead of running White Gold Tower, you can just use the White Gold Tower trophy vault. And it's much easier to do. I will advise you that if you're just trying to use all of the trophy vaults for the achievements that come in Imperial City, only carry some of your key shards, because when you approach the vault, you don't get a choice. As soon as you click that door, it converts all key shards into keys for that vault. So you will blow through 500 key shards if you approach it. And yeah, that is my beginning quick guide to Imperial City, and I hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, comment, hang out, and yeah, check out my other videos if you want to know any more Intro to Elder Scrolls stuff. Thanks, guys.